What's up guys, welcome back to the next video on learning Laravel. My name is QDS Dani and you guys watching my channel Coriowood. Alright, so in the previous video we have discussed the form, we have created a form and we have tried to submit the form to our store. Alright, so in this video we're going to continue the form and we're going to see you guys the different tricks of how to make your forms. So before we continue, guys, go ahead and fire up your Laravel with PHP artisan serve. Once that one's done, we're going to come here and we're going to see that one's we have created in the last video. And if you look in here, we have already injected our CSRF, our cross-site request forgery, so to protect our forms. Alright, so now there is one more thing that you guys need to be aware that when you have a request, if you look in here, request is something that you guys, the user is going to request. Say for example, the user is requesting the form. Say if the user going to come here in this form and the user is trying to fill up the form, say for example trying to submit the form, it's sending a request. Where it's sending the request is sending the request to your server, and where is the server? Server is going to store, then the server is going to post this one. See here, so you be sending the request from create, and the server is gonna store this request, and the server is gonna respond either yes or no, either the details of the credential of the user is matching or not matching. To view this request, so you can go ahead and say for example instead of return we can go ahead and put a DD. What is DD? DD is a dump and die, and this is a function in Laravel to show whatever is behind, whatever is going on under the hood behind the scene. So it's a Laravel's way of telling, it's called dump and die. It's a dump and die in Laravel, so you guys can view whatever request you guys sending to the server. So whatever the users, for example, come here, users gonna come and send whatever the request, we're gonna see that request. Because now the users, say for example if the users are gonna come and put a data, and the data is gonna be in this request, and if you guys want to view, you guys can view it in all. And don't forget your semicolon here. So now it's a dump and die, and we have a request, which is this guy here. That's a variable, and in Laravel that's a name request, and whatever the user is going to send, we're going to see under the hood what happens under the hood. And this is the best way from time to time as a Laravel and PHP developer. If you guys go ahead before you are doing your form, you guys check everything's what happens behind the scene under the hood in your form. So if you look in here, we have already put our token, which is CSRF, which is cross-site request forgery. So I have put my cross-site request forgery, and I have this one as a username. So here in my controller I put a DD, and now I'm gonna look at behind the scene under the hood what's happening here. So say for example I have a Yazdani, and if I put my password as 1 2 3 4 5 6 for example, now if I press submit, I'm gonna have a look here. I've got two array, and the token is, that's a token. The token should match. You look in here, that's a token is WAB, ending at WAB is a WAB, and the username is Yazdani. You don't see the password because that's for security reasons. So if you want, for example, if you want to look at just a username, for example you have just a name for any specific field, for example this one input, you can just put a username. You don't need to put all. Say all is in build function in Laravel, you can put just a username. So once you put your username, if you're gonna come here and go back and just put a Yazdani, for example, you're gonna come and you're gonna see Yazdani, because that's your whatever request is carrying that username. So that's Yazdani. Alright, so this is out of the way. There is another guys here to say it's a Laravel collective. So if you look in here, it's a Laravel collective. It says forms and HTML. If you go in your Google And if you search for Laravel Illuminate, so I'm going to show you is if you guys go ahead, Laravel Illuminate HTML forms, and you're going to come bump up to this one, Laravel collectives. If you look in here, HTML 6.x, that's a version, and HTML 5.2, and that's a version 2, because we are running Laravel 9. So if you look in here, if you press this guys here, you're gonna come to this page, Laravel collectives. So what is this form? This form is customized if you guys want to make this one looks beautiful, to make this form for the user, to give the user the best experience. As a Laravel developer, we all want to give our users, our customers, the best experience. So how do we gonna download this Laravel collectives, our HTML form? If you look in here, you just copy this guys here, composer require Laravel collective HTML. So if you press Control C, our if you go this way and do this one, copy, now you have effectively copied this one. So we're gonna go here, and as I said, you guys can create another command prompt to install all the Laravel composers, whatever, without having to shut this one down. So we can go ahead and we put a cd double dot, we put a web, so we put a 64, so we put a cd www. You guys can put in one line, say for example cd www, say for example Laravel, see Laravel, first Laravel, and we gonna paste whatever we have copied. So if you observe here, we are downloading Laravel Collectives HTML version 6 and installing Laravel Collective HTML version 6. So extracting archives here, and just to let you know that we are here at the composer. Why we need a composer? A composer is the best way for us to download all these. So before you didn't see this one under the Tinker, you guys going to see here that now composer is installing this one. So once this one is installed, it's going to go here inside the composer lock. So if you look in here, don't you guys not going to touch anything here, because as soon as you guys going to touch this one, composer, the thing's going to break down. So before touching anything here, you guys make sure you guys know what you guys doing. Okay, so we're going to check here if it's download is still optimize auto loading files. Okay, that's fine, because that's the composer's way of gonna optimize all the files here. So looks like whenever that one's ready, then I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna make beautiful forms, easy and beautiful form, just like this one, this guy is here for our users, our customers, to give them the best experience. So we're gonna check here that generating optimize auto load file, that's pretty much fine. So we're gonna wait till this process finish. Alright, so our composer has finished installing our package. Once this Laravel collective HTML download, so we're going to come and check inside the composer to see if this one's downloaded. We're gonna go on composer, so I'm going to show you guys that's where it is download. That's version 6.3. We've got the version 6.3 here, so it's successfully downloaded. As you guys seen here, is everything's okay, but if you guys see here there is some problem, then it means you guys got a problem. Then if there is a red somewhere around here, or if you don't see any green here, it means that that your file has not been downloaded. So you guys go ahead and refer to this Laravel Collective to see why it's not downloading. You guys might have a conflict in the system. Alright, so if you're gonna come here and say, for example, you try to use any of this form, for example, we're gonna come and we're gonna see here somewhere, for example, the username. So I'm gonna find the username and we're gonna put it, the email, for example. I'm gonna copy the email, and you guys gonna see it's not gonna work. And I'm gonna tell you why it's not gonna work. Say, for example, we're gonna put a username, and we have put a form email, so our email should work here. But if you look in here, it's not working. It's not working. Why it's not working? Because you guys needs to put it inside your kind of config. So we're gonna go and we're gonna find the config on top where it says config. So I'm gonna show you guys app where it says that HTTP, and you guys gonna come not this guy is here, but this guy is here, the config guys. And when you come here on the app, and here inside the app, you guys gonna come all the way down until you guys see here providers, because we need to put a provider for HTML. So here you guys need to put a provider. So how we're gonna put a provider? We're gonna put a collective slash, we're gonna put a HTML. If you don't see the HTML, and then you guys make sure you see the HTML, and after that, because put a HTML service provider, we put a HTML, we put a service provider, and put a double colon, and we put a class. Okay, so why we put a collective? Because these guys here are from Laravel, but this guy is from collective Laravel. So if you hover here, you're going to see the actual file that's been sitting inside your composer. So this is the HTML service provider that we are talking about. So HTML service provider, you guys are strongly advised not to touch anything. This one, where is this file? This file is here inside your vendor. So if you come all the way here and look inside your vendor, for example, my vendor is open and Laravel Collective here. So I'm going to close the vendor, and if I check here, and if you come Laravel, and that's Laravel Collective, there is a HTML, and look here, there is a source and readme. If you want to find out more, you guys can go here and read me. There is a source, and you can see all the packages here sitting inside the source. So this is a Laravel Collective. So that's what we are referring to. We are telling effectively Laravel to there is a service provider, but this service provider here is a Laravel Collective. So we're gonna come down, and you guys need to put the form, and you guys need to put the HTML. So the first one is gonna come as a form, and this form has a collective, and we put a backslash HTML backslash form facade form, and we put a facade, and we put a double colon, and we put a class, and here underneath we put a HTML, because you guys need to put one for form and another one for HTML. We put a collective, and then we put a HTML, and then if we put a HTML facade, HTML, we put a facade, double colon, and we put a class. So now we have here the key value for form, collective HTML form facade, and HTML collective HTML facade. And we're gonna come, and we're gonna save all, and we're gonna go here. If you have error, you guys gonna see error here straight away, because Laravel is not gonna accept anything here. If you refresh this one, if you see error, then you guys go ahead and check here. You guys gonna check your form HTML. Make sure you put a HTML form here in an alias, and put a app provider collective here. You guys need to put it here before under the view. So you can put it here, Control S to save, and we're gonna come here and we're gonna see here how to open the form. To open the form, you guys needs to come and check here. So now we're gonna opening a form. We're gonna copy this one, form open URL full bar. So we are not gonna put a URL full bar, we're gonna put our own. So looking here, so we're gonna copy here and opening a form. That's how you guys gonna open the form, and we're gonna paste it here. So now it says form, we're gonna come and we're gonna copy and paste this one here. So now we have a two form. So I'm going to show you, we have a two form here, and if you put a BR or HR here, so we put a HR, it means there is a line. The first one that our normal file, and the second one we have that's the first one, and that's what here we're gonna put the second one here. So here now we gonna put our form, and if you gonna come here and say, for example, we have our route, you can put the route this way, and we have our action. Now we gonna come and see here underneath, if you're looking for example email, you can look at here our username. So echo form, and we put a text, that's exactly gonna be like a username. So here we're gonna paste it here, echo form text username. But if you guys notice here, we have helpers here. This is called delimiters in Laravel, because usually in Laravel you guys notice is for example, we have done in the past, we have put it, for example, route, and we have going route in I think that was here, that we putting these delimiters here. And if you guys notice, we said in a previous video, this is for security reasons. So Laravel do this for security reasons. So wherever the Laravel outputs this for HTML. But if you guys notice here, we have a different one around the forms. Now we notice that how the helper is enclosed with this guys here with curly braces and double exclamation mark. Well, we have done here with double curly braces. If you look in here, we have outputted our variables in double curly braces. So I'm going to close this. Instead of this guys, we have put this guys here. This is because HTML will be output to the browser, since the double curly braces that we have seen, delimiters will help HTML code for security reasons. As we already discussed, you need to manually override this safeguard using Laravel supported this guys here with curly braces and double exclamation mark. So we do that to normally manually override Laravel's security reason, whatever the Laravel's got inside the internal engine. Okay, so how do we use this? For example, now that we're going to know how to do this, we're going to remove this. And if you notice here, if I run this, if I control S, and if I run, it's not going to work. So if I run here, this is not going to work, because all I see is echo the form text username, but I can see these ones. Okay, so because this is normal PHP, this is a Laravel's way of we do the forms here. So as you guys see here, this is working here, the form and everything is working, but this guy is not working. The reason it's not working because we have some PHP here. So if you remove this, and if you're gonna come here, for example, and if you put your Laravel's delimiter, for example, and if you put a double exclamation mark this side, remove this double exclamation mark this side, and curly braces this side, and I think it's gonna work now. So we're gonna go and we refresh, and you see this one is working exactly like that. This is a proper way of using Laravel's collective form. And as you guys see here, we have already put our form in our config. So this is the proper way of using Laravel's form and HTML here. So we have put a form facade and HTML facade. Okay, so make sure you guys gonna put your app config, and when we're gonna come here, now we're gonna put some sort of a style. So and here you guys look in here, that's for route. This is here we can put it for route. How are we gonna put it for route? Like this one for action. So this is for route. Where we gonna go route? We're gonna go, for example, users, for example, create, and we're gonna go to the, we're gonna put exactly like that, users.store. That's what we're gonna go. So we're gonna go users.store. So I'm gonna put it here, users.store. .store. That's what we're gonna go. You can put a name here as well. Say users.store. You can put a name, and here you just put a name here. That users.store. Just like we have used the names previously. Say if you go on top, if you look in here, we have used our name at the end of the route. At the end of this guys here, we have used the name. So you can use that. You can use users.store, and you can for example, now if you look in here, our form is getting complete. You can put a, for example, a class. Here you can open another array, and here you can put a class, and our class is a form. So now it's exactly getting like that. We are start putting our bootstrap as well, because we're letting Laravel knows that this is the form.